Hey, this is Mark Rodriguez here. I'm talking about Turtles again. As you know, I don't really talk about the series episode per episode, but sometimes I do cover like the big season finales or the crossover with the 80s Turtles, or now these two final episodes of the fourth season, which are totally epic. Today we're discussing the first one called Requiem, but I'm not doing it alone though. With me is
Hi everyone, this is Wendy from Heroes in the Halfcast. Glad to be here.
Yes, if you guys have seen, I haven't really posted the videos, but there are more Heroes of the Halfcast videos. They're available on Venka's own channel. There'll be a link below. There are a lot newer episodes. There are a lot newer cast members that weren't there before. So if you guys want to keep up to date with that, please check out the website. And of course, Jupi is there too, so you can hear a lot more from her. But and this is like my kind of like the reviews I usually do. We're not gonna do like a full podcast. It'll be like a synopsis and our general thoughts and just our things. I do know that the episodes have been aired in Korea for some reason before we got to see it here. So technically speaking, some of you guys out there might already know what happens in the next episode, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna avoid spoilers for the next episode. Just wait next week, like most of us American kids out there. And yeah. So this episode, I missed the little. I mean, the only thing I remember in the first minutes of the episode was I think Shredder was testing out if he was hardest enough to kill Karai or something.
Actually, what happened was is that he wants to be perfect, so Baxter Stockman gave him another injection. Apparently, that perfected him, so that way his mutagen levels are more stabilized, and it suppresses any emotional ties he had. So they tested him to see if he'd take out the footballs, and one of them looked like Karai. He didn't hesitate, and he destroyed that, rope that, and football too. So that was the main point of that beginning.
Ah, okay, but I didn't miss any scene before that or anything.
No, just that that Shredder is completely far gone, and he has no problem with killing Karai now.
Oh God, yeah. So after that, the basic synopsis is that Super Shredder is going out after the good guys. Karai and Shinigami are safe with the mutanimals, so Super Shredder attacks there anyways. I guess they weren't that safe, and the turtles head out, and a lot of epic fights happen. And of course, this is where we go into our thoughts because it's hard to describe it without going into our thoughts. So, do you want to go first on the big fight finale thing?
Oh, sure. I was not completely expecting that. See, for me, I knew about the Korean episodes. I did not watch them, but I did spoil myself. I just came across the spoiler and said, "Yes, a certain character dies." I was like, "What?" Well, I was like, "Okay." But yeah, that fight. I was like I said, I wasn't expecting that. So I knew that he was going to die, but I didn't know how or anything else about it because I did not want to be that spoiled. It was very epic. There were just some points I'm just wondering how in the world could Splinter just get back up to even do anything to fight. And then the part where you finally saw Shredder like impale him. I mean, you heard it, you saw it this time. He threw him off the roof. And everyone's reactions, super emotional. I feel so. Seriously, if you're a very like sensitive person or like you cry easily, you probably will cry because of the character's reactions, not because of the death itself. I feel.
Yes, and that's one of the things. For those who've been watching the other episodes, they actually kind of did this before when the turtles were facing the Triceratons. They had to team up with the Shredder. They had no choice. But during the action, Shredder was so insane that he killed Splinter when he should have been helping him save the world, and thus the planet exploded and all that stuff. But in that episode, like you could kind of tell he was impaled. The camera angle was was a bit lower. There's still a kid showing all that stuff, and of course the planet was gonna blow up, so there wasn't really that much time. But in this episode, wow, they really, I mean, the angle they use really, I mean, there's no way around it. There's no implying. I mean, you literally do see Shredder impale Splinter, and yeah, this time there was no planet exploding or anything. This time the turtles had the full gasping reaction of that, and it's probably I think it's like the most intense moments they had those kind of reactions as opposed to other episodes where Splinter died the first time or when Leo was beaten half to death that other time when they were doing the Mirage storyline thing. This was like, yeah, it was intense. It was very serious and they did good. That was the thing I was worried about, that they weren't going to take it as seriously as possible because unfortunately it still falls under the scrutiny that, oh, it's a kids show, oh well, and the other episode when they did that last season, despite Splinter dying, despite the planet exploding, and despite like everyone is dead now basically, they still had to put like funny stuff and Casey Jones, wow, we're in space now, that's awesome.
Oh gosh, I hated that so much. It's like, dude, no, 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 no. That is probably one of the few times where I literally wanted to like just throw Casey into space. Like, I have nothing really against this character, but that's the last time I just wanted them to eject him from the ship. I mean, seriously, your planet is gone. Everyone is gone, and dude, we're going on a space adventure. But then it kind of contradicts that because the next episode he was just as solemn and down as everybody else. So it was just crazy how they tossed that in.
Yeah. It's like, it's getting too somber now. Well, we gotta end it in a funny note somehow. But this episode didn't do that, though. This episode really kept it serious. The turtles were emotional. They had a very, very good scene, though, that calls back throughout the series. Each turtle has a split-second black and white flashback of some scene that they had with Splinter that even takes place sometimes like even the first season and stuff of each turtle. So, I mean, that was really cool, too. It really drives the point home.
Yeah, definitely. And when they were all, excuse me, they were all around the body, and I don't know, just their reactions to that. And I think the thing that really got a lot of people was when Mikey said "Papa" while crying.
That was an emotional scene. And also good
Yeah,
because, kind of like Casey, Mikey is also the go-to character to lighten things up. In this one, I mean, yeah, he was super serious and everything. It was a very good scene.
yeah, and like I said, I really liked Casey for this episode. I mean, and even the last couple of episodes, he hasn't really been all that bad. He's starting to seem more like how he was when he was first brought into the series.
Yeah, that
It's like
helps.
they're toning him down, and I kind of like the fact that they're doing that.
Yeah. And as for the rest of the episode, well, it was basically one like a long, long fight scene here and there. I mean, Super Shredder was just basically unstoppable. Even the other characters that have been established as powerhouses like Slash and Leatherhead couldn't do much against them and everything.
Mm. And there was also the part where he did first, find Mutano's hideout, and they're trying to attack him, like you said, they couldn't do anything, and Karai is pretty much saying, Shredder, stop all this, this place is coming down because there was a fire going, and rubble falling at their headquarters, and then Shredder said, "Oh, how did he put it? Like, it's going to be, it'll be the same as how your mother perished."
Oh yeah, he brought that up too.
And then, Karai just snapped. she, last time she discovered, his weak point was his heart. She punched it that time, a few episodes ago. And this time, she had her little sword out, and she actually was trying to penetrate it. But of course, since he's all super now, it couldn't do anything now.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing because you would think like just looking at the character design, which is a very bizarre as hell CGI design, by the way. But yeah, you would think that that's the weak spot, like the part's exposed. It looks exposed, but I guess it's so protected that Karai's blade just snapped when it tried to cut it, which is weird because I guess that means that he has like a transparent layer of very strong skin or something.
I don't know, but they had to do something because they couldn't get away with that in a kids show. Apparently,
Yeah, I know.
no, you can't. You cannot stab the very exposed looking beating heart.
I know. Yeah, the design was just weird as hell. When I first saw like leaked photos of the upcoming toy line that included Super Shredder, I was like, no. Maybe it'll look better in animation. No, it doesn't. It's just very weird. It's just like, I
It's
don't
very
know.
bizarre. Well, see, that's what happens, children. See, drugs are bad, okay? See, April got over her crack habit,
Mm-hmm.
with the crystal, with her crack,
Yeah.
and then you see Super Shredder hooked on heroin, so, kids don't do drugs. They are bad.
Yeah, they'll expose. They'll have your heart exposed and everything. Oh God.
So yeah, this is very intense. And then of course the other part, they came out the building and Karai, she's all totally messed up. Leo did CPR on her, and I thought that was really nice. Because he did end up saving her. And then, Splinter's like, okay, we gotta split up. I'll take this group. We go this way. Leo, you take the group. Go this way. And they end up fighting all of the hench mutants, and Splinter and his group were with Shredder.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool as well.
And that was also very clever. It was just a distraction to have the turtles gone. Like it's like technically speaking, I kind of think Super Shredder is still taking them all on anyway, but it's like he was not taking any chances. Let's divide them up and up the chances of him winning.
Yeah, so his brain isn't too far gone. He was thinking like a warrior.
Yeah. Now, one thing I didn't notice because I missed the last episode was Tiger Claw taken away or something. He wasn't with the gang this time.
Yes, because last episode he had his arm cut off by Alapex.
Oh God.
And they actually showed it. I mean, that's something else that totally surprised me. They showed her slicing his arm off. You saw his arm on the ground.
Oh jeez.
I mean, no blood, of course.
Yeah.
You gotta have some limitations. So he can't fight. The only mutants that weren't there were Stockman and Tiger Claw. They were the only two that weren't there.
Yeah. But wow. But yeah, it is getting pretty intense, guys. So all we can say well, in my thoughts, it's a very good episode. I do like Mondo Gecko. Like I know he's voiced by Robbie Rist, the guy who voiced Michelangelo in the older '90s movies. But like this time, I could really hear it. Like almost everything he said, I could really hear that Michelangelo voice.
Now, if you would have made like a pizza joke, like they'll pay late for
Yeah, I
that
could
little
really
line
hear it.
is always cool, but
Yeah.
that would have been excellent.
And I think, I mean, unless you can think of other points, the last thing I want to kind of mention is Shredder fell into the garbage truck and they had to do like the little callback to the '90s movie where Casey pulls the lever, does makes the garbage machine crunch Shredder to bits or whatever, and he still says "oops," which is kind of weird because it was just weird though. It's a moment, like I know, like in the '90s movie, he did kind of like in a comical way, and it was goofy. And even though Shredder was dangerous, technically, I mean, he didn't kill anyone that we saw. He didn't kill April or anyone. So and this one, like having killed Splinter and stuff, like it's just so weird to still put that in there. Like I understand callback to the movie, but wow, I don't know. That was weird.
It came across as slightly morbid, I guess you could say, because technically Casey killed somebody, or attempted.
Yeah.
So I can see where you're coming from with that. Yeah, for the 1990 movie, it was done for comic relief. And this one, what's the name was pissed. You could see it. Everyone was. So oops. And I like that scene. That's just me.
Yeah. I also noticed April with the Super Saiyan hair now.
Yeah, and it's something else that's kind of, in my opinion, kind of a little bit throwback to her earlier season where things would go crazy when her emotions went, out of whack.
Yeah.
And she was reacting to what he had done to Splinter, and she just boom,
Yeah.
So I think that's really appropriate, and I'm glad that no one is fully complaining about that, because to me, it didn't bother me at all. At least she didn't use her power to save Casey flying off the building.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking she was gonna do something like that and maybe like leave herself open to get smacked too or something like that. But no, Casey was able to save his own fall and everything, which was perfect, of course, because then he was in the right place, right time for the garbage truck. But
yes.
Yeah,
when
overall,
when I saw the garbage truck, I was like, okay, come on, Nick, you have it, use it.
Yeah. And they did the same thing too. They did kind of like where Splinter was kind of sort of baiting Shredder into coming into running over him so he could like trip him over with a chain similar to the movie. Like I know it was a nunchuck in the movie. Here it was like a chain thing or something he was trying to use, or was
It's
it?
like he had another thing hidden in his cane, like a string, like something like a string or something. I guess you could use that to strangle someone with.
Yeah,
But I was like, wow, I knew he had the sword hidden in there, but I didn't know he had like that too.
yeah. But that was a
Man, he was
clever
cool.
play on the first movie. So yeah, overall it was an awesome episode. I got really nothing to complain about. Too like nothing really stands out. I guess it's just awesome. And between them showing Tiger Claw's severed arm in the last episode and actually clearly showing Shredder impaling Splinter in this one, they're taking a lot of risks now. And I'm surprised they're getting it past the censors and all that. But yeah, pretty good episode, pretty intense. I give it, 2 thumbs up and all that good stuff. I can't wait for the next one. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I didn't want to see the whole thing. I just kind of saw parts in the Korean one, but of course, I'm not going to spoil it now. Do you have any final thoughts on the episode overall?
I liked it a lot. I did like it a lot. I do have some criticisms, but that's
Oh, like which ones?
well, mainly the fight at Coney Island. I had a problem with that because it felt like something was missing to me. There were a couple of scenes missing from the fight. Like first we saw what happened with Razar. Leatherhead attacked him. He dragged him to the bottom. And personally, I think that Razar is dead because there's no way he could have surfaced from that. But then we don't see what happened to Fishface. Donnie was fighting him. Next scene, they're getting a call from April saying that Shredder's too strong. Help us.
Yeah, and I think didn't we just see Via and Rocksteady running around, like sticking their tongues out, letting them know it was all like a ruse, but they didn't show fish face, did they?
No, I actually went back and watched the episode like 2 more times to see maybe my eyes are bad. And I kept it up. I watched and I was like, where is Fishface? Where is Zephyr? So did Donatello kill him or like stab him or throw him away? I mean, seriously.
Hmm.
Like I
That
said, there's no way Razar could have survived his leatherhead thing unless Fishface kind of hit the water and saved.
even though like he really wouldn't.
Yeah, he doesn't like you too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good fight though. I do like I said, the whole episode was serious and there was no time for Mikey screwing things up, typical Mikey shenanigans. So I kind of liked that they did it that way. Even when they were driving, he was helping them guide the what's it called, the shell raiser just fine without messing up. It was a good episode. It knows that when the stakes are this high, let's stop with
You
the
can't.
kiddie
Yeah.
stuff. Let's stop with the, oh, we gotta throw a joke in there somewhere for the kids. Let's
Yuck.
yeah, let's not do that. So I'm glad that this episode really took it to all cylinders.
It's like they didn't have, like you said, they didn't have time to do something really, really silly. And like I said, even though you have Casey and Mikey, okay, you have Mikey, like usually if something is really serious going on, he usually does take it seriously himself, usually, unless it's season 1. So, in my opinion. So, yeah, like I said, good episode, great emotion. Oh my gosh, poor Seth, being Leo, because, how he had to react.
Yeah. And of
Everyone
course,
was cool.
Splinter also had that like foreboding, like he knew like that was his last day.
Yeah, he knew something was up. He was really sensitive. Like Leo had said, hey, you haven't been sleeping. You've been meditating a lot more lately. Now, my son, I just said, don't worry about me. Let's worry about you. You know. But yeah, it was foreshadowing. And I know people said they were like not invested because they said it was gonna be another fake out. Death fake out. But I was
Yeah.
like, well, technically, the only time we've had that is like only maybe twice. Episode with Rat King when he was hallucinating the adapted Mirage story, and the end of last season. any other time, it never felt that way to me. It's more like, oh, how will he get out of the situation? Not necessarily, oh my God, they fake killed him, you know?
Yeah.
I never got that impression at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know what other
Well, the
people are
other
talking
one, I
about.
mean, if they didn't blow up the planet, I would have thought. I mean, I would have believed that they would have killed Splinter for good. But they went and blew up the planet. I'm like, yeah, right. They're gonna do some kind of something, whatever, to bring it back, and thus bringing back
Yeah,
Splinter. And everyone kept assuming that they were gonna bring it back and not bring back Splinter, which I've always thought, well, no, that makes no sense. You're not gonna do that. I know that. It's either bring it back or don't. And when you do it, by default Splinter will be there. Like, don't. But yeah, But I just find it ironic that Splinter almost died by being impaled by Shredder. They went back, they fixed everything, and he still died being impaled by Shredder, even though it's Super Shredder this time. But it's like I guess he just couldn't escape that fate.
no, they were fated to die at each other's hands, or one must live without the other. And I just turned this into Harry Potter. So
Oh
sorry about that,
goodness.
everyone.
It's all right. Well, anyways, guys, I think that wraps up this particular episode. Like I said, I don't usually do episode by episode, but this is getting intense. Most likely we will be reviewing the next episode if you happen to be available, Wendy, and if anyone else within our Heroes in the podcast happen to be available as well, maybe we'll cover the next one because I don't want to spoil it, but it's gonna get even more intense as stuff happens. So we'll have to see.
Yes, and like I said, I have iTunes. Over here in Japan, they don't air the show, so like I said, when it's midnight or like midnight on the West Coast, I'm watching the episode. So I will definitely probably be available.
Yep. So, anyways, guys, see y'all next time. This is Mark Rodriguez signing out. I guess I'm the
And
Orange Ninja if you go by Heroes in the half cast terms.
and I'm Wendy, and I am a shade of purple. And Heroes and Half Cast or Violet. I'm sorry. See you, everyone.
Yep. And again, links below for the Heroes in the podcast. There are new episodes out. I know they haven't been on my channel, but they are on Benga's own channel, so be sure to check them out. Yeah, have a good one, y'all.